Now, let's get to our segment brought to you by AZ Firearms. Dan and Cheryl Todd are with me as usual, and we have a couple of special guests in here. Mike Abramovich. How'd I do on the Abramovich?
That was perfect.
Nice. I like that.
Nailed it.
Who the heck are you? Why are you here?
Well, I'm a NRA training counselor, and I teach NRA courses, and I teach NRA instructor courses also.
Okay, and you've got a program coming up a week from today. What's that all about?
We do. We're going to be holding an Eddie Eagle seminar.
Okay, Eddie Eagle. Now, I know people are going to want to start singing the song. I'm not going to ask you to sing the song. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're not going to ask you for the Eddie Eagle song. But where are you holding this, and what is it all about?
Well, Eddie Eagle is a gun safe program, and it's all about keeping kids safe. It saves lives. Kids who are about 5 years old to 7 years old are taught to stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult if they come across a gun when mom and dad aren't around.
Right. Okay. Good. And then you're doing this at the location at AZ Firearms, correct?
We're doing it at Pot of Gold Estate Auctions,
okay,
which is right next door to azfirearms.com.
Yeah, they share a building. They share a wall, those people.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, good.
They do. So this is it's a nice big area. We're going to have a lot of kids in there. We're hoping that Eddie Eagle might land and make a showing also.
Really? Okay, that's cool. So it's just, this is for the kids. It's a lot of fun. It's not mom and dad dragged me to class I got to go to about guns. No, this is going to be a fun time for the kids.
It is. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have coloring books and crayons.
Can I come? Jeez, that sounds like a good time. I'm loving this.
We'll be showing a video, and like I said, maybe Eddie Eagle will stop by too.
That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, and then what's the kid to expect with the curriculum here? You said obviously it's stop, don't touch, run away, tell an adult. We got that, but is that it? Are they learning more? Are they seeing guns? What are they expecting as a parent when I bring my kid in? What am I expecting them to see?
Yeah, we will not have any guns present.
Okay.
Not at all. In fact, there's a gun in the video where Eddie Eagle teaches the kids what to do when they come across that gun, but that's the only gun that's going to be present. It's all about getting the kids aware of what to do when mom and dad aren't around. We have a couple different programs that we go over. It's about a 2-hour program for the kids, and again, it's very hands-on.
Okay.
Very hands-on.
And Cheryl, you're bringing this to us. This is one of the many cool things that you guys do for our community.
Thank you.
And so what are the details? What are the times? How much does it cost? To give it to me.
Well, it's our favorite price ever. Free.
Free 99. That's my favorite.
Free 99. Free 50 free.
Yeah. Free 50 free. Yes.
Jokes.
Check you out. All right.
No, we've been so fortunate and blessed to be able to partner with the Avondale Police Department and our two businesses, and then the fine teachers that are coming along, the instructors of Mike Abramovich and Jen Barber, who you'll meet in a moment here. And so everybody's donating what they do. And so we just really want to get the message out there of safety. That's what we're all about, safe and responsible firearms ownership. And it doesn't even matter if you don't have a gun in the house, because your kids don't live in a bubble. They go out and
sure,
they do things with other people, and you want them to be aware.
Can I stop you right there? Because a lot of people come over to my house. I've got two kids. I've got a 9 and a 7-year-old. We just today there were kids coming over, and last week kids coming over. No one. And it might be assumed maybe they know what I do, but no one asks if I have firearms. Nobody asks if they're locked. Nobody asks me these questions. Mm-hmm. So that's a great point that you bring up, that it doesn't matter if you have guns or not. Your kids are probably going to go somewhere where there's going to be firearms.
Well, I think there was a news story recently where a youngster came across a firearm on a playground, and unfortunately it was an off-duty police officer who had set his rig down or his gun down because his child needed some quick help, and it was just that fast.
Yeah.
And here's another child encountering a firearm. Nothing bad happened from what I understand, but how much better if that other child had gone through the Eddie Eagle and they would have known exactly what to do. I'm empowered. I know exactly what to do. I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go experiment with this thing. And that's what Mike and Jen are going to do for us on Saturday,
Yep, week
a
from today.
week from today,
That's right.
June 6th at 215 East Western Avenue in Avondale. And they can sign up on Mike's website. They can go to certifiedtraining.net, not .com, .net, certifiedtraining.net. And anytime you have a question, I know Mike Russell will help you out.
And that's Mike at KTAR.com. Go ahead and shoot it to me. I'll get you the right information. Your email address, Mike, is just as simple as mine. I love that. See, Mike at KTAR.com. Mike at certifiedtraining.net.
That's it.
Piece of cake.
On the website, there's a link right on the right side where they could register, and my email address is there also if they have any questions.
Now, you did rattle off some of your training experience or the certifications that you have. What is your background? Is it all training, and how did you come to this level?
Well, I've been shooting guns ever since I can remember. I grew up shooting guns and competing. I started teaching about 1990, and then in 2009, the NRA appointed me as a training counselor to help other people learn how to teach.
Okay. And then so how many years total we've been doing this?
I guess about 25 years.
25 years, okay.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been involved in the Eddie Eagle program?
We just in the last 5 years we started getting more involved in it, and we really are excited about bringing it to the West Valley.
Right, and how old is that program, by the way, the NRA Eddie Eagle program? Do you know?
No, but it's
been around a while.
It's a good 20 years.
Sure. Okay. And you guys bringing it out to the West Valley. I'm very excited about this. I think it's a great program.
Me too, and they've just updated it. We're fortunate with the time frame because just this year, I think Eddie and his friends got a little bit of an upgrade.
A little upgrade, yeah.
So
they're not showing the movie on that little thing, the reel to reel. No,
I think we're tapping straight into the web.
Wow!
Right?
Not
We're
even
gonna
DVDs.
Stream it.
Maybe.
Wow.
This is.
I don't know. Jen Barber's in here with us, and
yes,
she knows
Jen.
A little bit about this. How are we gonna bring the video into the room?
Well, we can figure. Let me talk a little bit about the video because. You know what's so funny? Having a daughter and seeing Nemo and seeing some of these movies, and now Eddie Eagle is now at that occasion where he's getting his own animation.
Nice.
And they make the message so nice and so enjoyable that, guns are a really scary topic for a parent, especially when you think, oh, my child could encounter this, what could happen? But we pose it in a way, and the video poses it in a way where you can have a good discussion and not be scared, but be informed. And I think that's really, really the biggest message with Eddie Eagle. So,
what's amazing is parents understand when it comes to swimming, even if they don't have a swimming pool, that their kids should learn how to swim. But when they don't think about, when they don't have guns, about making sure their kids stay safe around guns, because there's guns in homes around them, and like you said, there's guns all around, even finding it in the local park.
Man, that's a great point. And we do. We go over the basics. You guys have your liquor locked up. What are you going to do? You got liquor. You have a pool fence, and no one really goes, do you have any firearms laying around? And even for my kids, I don't even ask that. They go over to somebody's house. I don't. I mean, my kids will know what to do, but I don't ask the question.
Yeah, and Mike, you're no slouch. You've been the instructor to instructors. And so surely somebody has asked the question, so when I take my kids over to their friend's house, should I inquire? And should the people answer?
Well, it's funny. I have two kids. I have a daughter that's 24 years old and a son who's 18. And I still remember when my son was about 6 years old and he was getting ready to go to a friend's house for the day. And the mom came over and was picking up my son to bring him to her house. And I actually asked if they had guns in the house. And she stopped and looked at me, and her jaw dropped. She wasn't prepared for that kind of question.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I do think it's a question we should ask.
So suppose that your child was coming to my house and all of my firearms are safely locked up and they are no threat to anybody. And do I have to answer honestly and say, yes, I have 5 guns in my house, or whatever the number might be, because now maybe you're giving out information that when we get to the next program we're going to talk about, the do not be a victim, refuse to be a victim, maybe we don't want that information out. It's kind of a ticklish line, isn't it?
I'm obviously a huge Second Amendment supporter, and if somebody came to me and asked me, because their kid was coming to my house, if I had firearms, I would think that that's a pretty informed parent. And my answer would be, yes, I do, and they're all locked up. Mm-hmm. And I would not be offended at all. Mm-hmm. I probably wouldn't write down a list of all of the guns I have.
Serial numbers, calibers.
It is more than 5.
Right. Yes, I would assume. Right. I usually show up with my Second Amendment coffee mug, and they know what's going on. They don't have to ask the question. Maybe that's why no one's asked me. I'm always rolling around with this thing.
Well, then there's
it's a safe assumption.
There's us driving around in the truck that you lovingly say that if the Second Amendment drove a truck, it would be that one. It's got bullets and AR.
By the way, big thanks to your husband. He helped me get my kayaks. He helped me go to Tempe. He went to Tempe and helped me get the things back to the West Valley because my trailer wasn't done yet. So he helped me, and I thought, I'm here. I am buying this great American product. I can't think of a better truck to be in than the Second Amendment mobile with Dan Todd. So big thanks.
That's perfect.
Great there. All right, so let's pivot a little bit if we could. Let's get over here to Jen Barber. Let's talk about Refuse to Be a Victim. What is that?
It's a fantastic program. I think backing up just a little bit, a year ago, I grew up in a hunting family, and we were always told, don't touch guns, don't go around guns are bad, and I have a lot of respect for that. Well, at 40 years old, I'm thinking I am terrified being around loaded guns. And a year ago with ISIS and everything that is happening, and I'm a huge fan of the Second Amendment, I'm thinking, I really need to educate myself. I think that might be a good first step. And so I got involved with Mike. I contacted Mike, and he was fantastic about putting together just a basic pistol course. And I went and I took it, and I think just having that education really was a big change for me. And so anyhow, Mike had this course, Refuse to Be a Victim, and he said, Jen, why don't you take the instructor course? I'm like, oh, no, I'll just go and learn about it.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I believe so much, and I'm honored to be an instructor for this, and I'm really excited to get the program out there. But basically, let me ask you a question. You're sitting at home.
It's not a test question.
Yes,
I'm getting nervous. I'm starting to sweat.
Play the Jeopardy music. Here we go.
Here it is.
It's timed also.
Okay. Well, actually, speaking of time, can I stop here?
Sure.
Can you ask me the question right when we come back? Because we are up against a break here, so I want to take a quick break. We're going to more with Jen Barber. Refuse to Be a Victim. We're going to find out what it is, and apparently, I get a test question next.
Get Outdoors, KTAR News on 92.3 FM and KTAR.com.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall during the breaks, let me tell you. It's wide open in here. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you missed any of the last segment, we were talking about the Eddie Eagle program. We just started with Refuse to Be a Victim. If you missed any of that, hey, we're going to go ahead and podcast it. You can check it out at KTAR.com and Get Outdoors show page. We'll put the links up to it on both the AZ Firearms Facebook page as well as ours, Facebook.com/Get Outdoors AZ. Jen Barber had a question for me, and I'm nervous about this whole thing because I know what it's going to have to do with math.
Well, I think you'll pass.
What do you got? Oh, okay, good.
So.
Okay.
Does he have to use Common Core?
Right.
No. No. We stay away from that.
Okay.
All right. What do we got? Fire away.
Okay. So when people ask me about what is Refuse to Be a Victim, I ask them this. If you were sitting at home at night, you're not armed. So assume you're not armed. You're sitting there, you are completely engrossed in your favorite movie, and someone walks into your home and you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, what would you do?
I know my answer, but you're telling me I'm not armed.
Well, that's the whole point. And are you alert? Usually when you're engrossed in your movies and your TV and your phone and your Facebook and all this, you're not alert. And Refuse to Be a Victim is all about be aware of your surroundings. Know what's going on. It kind of takes away that element of surprise when you do find yourself in a bad situation. Or, Cheryl, you're in a parking lot late at night, walking to your car, and there's someone following you. What do you do? So Refuse to Be a Victim, we actually talk about so many different scenarios, and we talk about just having that mindset. What would you do? What's your plan of action? I've always thought about, well, that either won't happen to me or I'm really lucky it hasn't happened to me. But now, after going through this course, I have a plan. I have a plan for many, many different situations. And that's what I truly enjoy about this program.
Who's this course for? Give me the demographics.
Okay, so you have women, you have college students, homeowners, renters, car owners,
senior citizens.
Senior citizens. I mean, it's pretty much anybody, whoever leaves their, well, even if you are in your home, it's anybody can take this course.
So basically, anyone who just took the Eddie Eagle class and above is what we're looking at. Basically, anybody.
Yeah. So I've even started teaching my daughter quite a bit of this, and she's 11, but she gets it, and I want her to be ready. So when she takes off for college, she will be walking alert with confidence, know her surroundings, and be ready for any situation.
And that's the big part of it. It isn't arm yourself to the teeth.
No.
If this is arm yourself with knowledge is what this is. This isn't just buy a bunch of firearms and assume it's all going to plan.
Not at all.
This is kind of the Jason Bourne from the Bourne Identity kind of thing. Right. Know your exits, know where people are, and all of that, right?
And actually, firearms really isn't talked about much in the program, but we do talk about personal alarms. What do criminals not like? They don't like noise. They don't like a scene. So we talk about, things that you need to do to try and get them to think about leaving you and headed somewhere else. We talk about mace. We talk about pepper spray. We talk about things that are legal within your state that you can use to protect yourself. And I think the best lesson that I took from Mike was time plus distance equals options. So recently there was some college students did a photography art piece, and the girls all showed what they used in college to protect themselves, and they all had keys in their hands. Mm-hmm. What's the problem with that?
It's close quarter combat.
Right.
Yeah.
A little too close.
Sure.
I'm sorry, keys may not save your life. But if you have something, if you can get that noise, get that scene going, give yourself some time to get away and run, you might survive a little bit better in the long run.
That's a good point. I mean, think about it. An air horn might be your best defense. People talk about whistles and things like that because the bad guys don't like having attention called to them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why they're lurking in the shadows and whatnot, right?
We want witnesses. The bad guy doesn't.
Okay, I like that.
That's right.
That's definitely the good way to go with that. So you're putting on these classes too?
Yes, and one of the other things, we had an arson fire at our home about 5 years ago.
Jeez.
So now we have cameras, we have lights, but when something like that has happened to you, you really start to think, okay, what could I be doing to take better care of my family?
Sure, right.
And all of this applies to that.
Correct. And these classes are done when, where, what are we doing this? Where do I find this here?
So August 29th.
Okay.
At azfirearms.com at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's
All right.
a 4-hour class. We have sponsorship from AZ Firearms, and Avondale Police Department is supporting this also. So we were able to bring the cost of the program down, and it's only $15 for the 4-hour class.
$15, that's good. All right, I like that. And now, so we have a 4-hour class, and you were talking about awareness. What are we doing here? Are we role-playing? What is the class like? Kind of paint the picture for us.
Well, there's a couple different things. First of all, there's different parts of the program. We talk about personal safety. We talk about safety around the home, in the car, travel safety, safety at work. And there's different modules in this. So one of the neat things about the program is that we can actually modify the program based upon the audience we're teaching to. We could be teaching this class at ASU to incoming freshmen, and there's a module actually geared towards dorm living. And then the next week we could teach this out in Sun City to a bunch of retired people, and there's a module for senior living. Okay. So it's kind of neat. And like Jen said, we do talk a little bit about different tools that can be used, like asp-baton, pepper spray, and we do talk about firearms as an option, but it's not something that we push because we know it's a very personal decision.
Yes, it is. It is a very personal decision. Now, okay, so I'll go to that. It's a little bit off course from what we're doing here, but I do want to ask that because we did promise last week that we would talk about the top 5 firearms for home defense. We didn't get to it, but I want to talk about that, Mike, because you're talking about it is a very personal decision. And I know I've spoken about this before. I've talked to Dan and Cheryl about this before on air. But it is a very personal decision. What's the first step? Now, Jen, you said, I was always afraid of guns. Now I need to educate myself. Right. I would like to hear from you, if I could. What was that first step for you, and then what would you suggest it is for everyone else?
The first step was having many conversations with my husband about what do we do. Mm-hmm. And the more we watched the news, we just knew we needed to do something. And so I called Mike and said, okay, where do I start? What do I do? Took his class, and it still has been a few months, worked up to the point where, we're were able to purchase a firearm. And then that's where we turned to AZ Firearms, and fantastic education in your business. I mean, we have spent several hours, but that's what it is. You have to ask the questions. You can't be afraid to ask the questions. And between Mike and AZ Firearms, it's been quite the process. So.
Yeah, but the process is it's an education is what it is. So instead of a process, it is an education.
Right, and now it's with our daughter, having those talks with our daughter. Mike was great. He sat down with him and said, you know, what would you do? This is what you do. Stay away from it. We even used part of the Eddie Eagle message with her. Even though she's 11 years old, she's a straight A kid. She knows these things, but don't assume that a child would do the right thing. You have to it's about repetition over and over and over.
Give them to me. Give them the 5. We got very, very little time. We almost ran out again. I almost got in trouble again. What are the 5?
Oh, my gosh, our top 5 was shotguns.
Yes.
Any kind of Glock.
Yes.
Any kind of 1911.
Yes.
Hello.
Revolvers, the LCR with the 9mm in it.
Yeah.
My personal choice is the Taurus Judge, but you can also upgrade to a Smith & Wesson Governor. It's a little bit more expensive, one more round. Or special mention to the AR-15.
Oh, wow. Check that out. AR-15 making it in the home defense. I want you to get over to certifiedtraining.net. I want you to get over to azfirearms.com, and I want you to sign up for these programs. Eddie Eagle program, Refuse to Be a Victim. Those classes are coming up a week from today. You can get all of the dates there. You can sign up. You can pay for the class. Get it done. Now, you have asked for it. I am delivering. I'm going to do it once a year. I'm getting Game and Fish in here. Arizona Game and Fish in here. We are going to talk about the big game draw. That's right. It will be explained, and it's next.